Hello out there in internet world. I'm coming to you tonight just to talk about something that's been on my mind recently. Um, First of all, full disclosure, this is just me sitting in my dining room. I don't have any fancy production equipment or cool intros or anything like that. It's just me and a cell phone on a tripod. But I just wanted to hopefully get some insight from my community of flashlight and especially Olight enthusiasts about the Olight M2R Warrior. Now, this light came out earlier this year, and I picked one up whenever they had the introductory sale. And I was looking at replacing my everyday carry at the time, my everyday carry light, which was the M1X Striker. So I just have a thought, and I just hope to get a little bit of insight on what you guys think. I will try to make this pretty quick because I know nobody wants to sit and just listen to someone talk about a flashlight, so I'll try to make it fairly quick. So here's here's the thing. I think we have to start with, why do you carry a flashlight? Well, I carry a flashlight for those times where, well, of course, for everyday carry purposes, but also for those times where something unexpectedly happens, particularly something bad. The same reason that you might carry, a firearm. So whenever I carry any a piece of my everyday carry gear, is always sort of angled around that, like, what would happen in a bad situation, in a holdup, in a perhaps a catastrophic situation like a mass shooting situation, fires, things like that, where your adrenaline is going to be high. So I try to really set my everyday carry gear around those situations that could come up, that you would wish you had something that was dependable, that you could know that you could use, and not have to worry about having any weird things come up. So that's the first thing I think it's important to understand about me. I'm just an average Joe. I have some military experience, but it was 2005, 2006. So it's been a while since I've had any kind of a formal law enforcement style training. So I try to just develop my lifestyle, my things around the training that I get, whenever I train personally or if I go out and seek training, but it's not a regular, training regimen. And I understand that. I understand my own personal limitations. So I want to make sure that I'm prepared and I adapt my personal everyday carry gear around that. So whenever I got the M2R Warrior, my first thought was, this is going to be fantastic. This is a 1500 lumen flashlight. I'm replacing my 1000 lumen M1X Striker, so super excited about that. And then I realized that there is, in my opinion, either a design flaw, or perhaps it could just be that I'm misunderstanding, like, the reason that a civilian person like myself might carry this flashlight. So basically, you've got two modes, right? You've got your everyday carry, average Joe, standard mode, in which case the tail light will give you 1000 lumens and a soft press, and if you press it all the way in, you get a constant on 1000 lumens. Okay, well, that's great, but my M1X has 1000 lumens, right? I want 1500 lumens. I bought this light. This is a $100 flashlight that I bought because it will provide you with 1500 lumens. So you put it in your, what we call the tactical mode. I'll do that now. And you push the tail cap, and bam, blinding 1500 lumens. But the interesting thing is, if you push all the way in, whereas you were going to try to make it stay on constantly, you get a strobe. Okay, well, strobes are cool, right? But my thought process is, if I have this in my pocket, like I usually carry it, like so, and the crap hits the fan, some guy comes at me around the corner with a gun, or something is really suspicious, I'm going to pull this out, and immediately, where are you going to go with your finger? Well, obviously the tail cap. I was held up at gunpoint once in an apartment that we lived in, and I can tell you that, as some of you who have experienced traumatic situations like that might know, your motor functions don't work the way that you think that they would. So I can visualize pulling this flashlight out of my pocket and gripping it as tight as I can, which is probably what's going to happen in a situation like that, and immediately bringing that tail cap all the way in. And this is what I'm going to get. Now, that, unfortunately, is going to be blinding for me. It's going to be as blinding as it is for obviously for the perpetrator, whatever's going on, but it's going to be just very distracting and blinding for me, as well as possibly my kids or my wife or whoever is with me. So I was real disappointed to find out that there is no constant on of the 1500 lumen mode from the tail switch. That's the only way you can access the 1500 lumen mode. Now you can double tap the side switch and double tap it again, and then you get your 1500 lumen mode. Now that's great. I'm glad that they built in a way that you could access the 1500 lumen mode from the side switch. But again, I ask you to think about this. If a guy's coming at you and you're forced to draw your weapon because you fear for your life, are you going to pull this out of your pocket and go for this little small side switch here? Or are you going to go for this big fat tail switch here? Another interesting thing is the tail switch is very flush with the tail of the light. So it really requires you to really push in. Like for example, if I did manage to get it out in a moment of clarity and hold this down, how long am I going to be able to hold that flush like this before my finger slips off the button and I have darkness? And then I have to remember, oh crap, oh now I'm strobing again, oh now that's not working, oh this isn't great. So I guess that's my biggest concern, is I feel like it's not, the 1500 lumen mode anyway, is not designed with like just sort of an everyday carry, bam, there's 1500 lumens, oh no, it's some sort of strobe, oh my finger slipped off the button. It isn't designed with ease of use in its mind. So please don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic flashlight. It is bright as crap. Like I love to get it out in the backyard, do the double tap again, but I find whenever I carry it that I put it back on that everyday carry standard mode, because if I hit the tail switch, the light is on and I don't need to fool around with whether or not my finger slipped off the button, whether or not it didn't. Here's another quick interesting thing, and I'm almost done with this video, guys, but just another quick sort of an interesting thing. From this mode here, well, let's say you do, oh, there's strobe again, sorry. Let's say you push it in and you have somebody at maybe at gunpoint, or there's somebody hiding behind a car, you can see them behind the car, you're holding down the light. There's no way to get this light into a constant on mode without letting your finger off the tail cap. So for example, what I mean is, let's say you're holding it down, right? This is 1500 lumens. I can't press this and the light stay on. In other words, here you guys can see it better. And then the other interesting thing is, if I have it in 1500 lumen mode, and let's say I drop the tail switch real quick and go to the side switch, it's like bam, it takes you to whatever the most recent mode in memory was. So I think this is like the second mode 2. So am I going to have the wherewithal to be able to say, I see you, you're behind the car, up, bop, bop, and then bop, bop again, while holding my firearm, while, watching after my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old, trying to get them to safety? I don't know that I'm willing to bet my life on that, and that it just worries me. And I guess I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Like, maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like whenever I set up my everyday carry gear and we're going out on the town or whatever for the night, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm afraid I can't depend on what I have. So I typically leave it in the standard mode. And then you may think, well, hey man, that's cool. It's a great light in standard mode. Sure it is, but enter the M1X Striker, which is about a $65 brand new flashlight if you get it brand new. It's got a heck of a strike bezel on it. And watch this. A little double tap on the tail, 1000 lumens. Constant on. You don't have to worry, you don't have to wonder. Like they say in the infomercial, set it and forget it, right? So I guess that's just the thing. Like, I just feel a little bit disappointed. I kind of wish that there was another way to get to constant on, because this is bop bop, bam, this light is on, it's ready to go. This light, you can see they're very similar in the brightness. So I guess I just asked myself, like, so here's what I would be curious about. If you are a law enforcement officer, or you are perhaps current military, or you have a lot of training in maybe tactical situations, do you find that beneficial? Like, if you were in a situation where you pulled someone over and you're approaching their vehicle and it looked like maybe they had a gun, and you immediately went to press this in all the way that it's strobing, is that beneficial to you? I mean, maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm just missing like how this light is designed to be used. Maybe that 1500 lumen mode is mainly for police officers and military, and I have a light that, although it's cool for a civvy to have, in most of your everyday situations, you would just leave it in your standard mode, show off the 1500 lumens to your friends and family, maybe, you know, look out in the woods with it, but you're not realistically going to be keeping it that way in everyday carry. I don't know. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for entertaining my, my craziness or paranoia, whatever you want to call it. Put your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.